Good afternoon, all. So good to be here. And welcome to Accelerating Aerospace Innovation, one of my favorite words these days, accelerating, because while we have a reason to go fast, we seem to have a benefit from going even faster. Right, so we'll have an opportunity to be thinking about that here over the next few days. So welcome to the 7th annual Glenn Space Technology Symposium. I'd like to take a moment just as we get kicked off here, talk a little bit about the American Astronautical Society, which is a nonprofit technical society founded in 1954, so just a few short years ago. In the early 50s, a small group of like-minded individuals started to discuss, and this is a quote, problems of rocket propulsion, navigation, and physiology of planet hopping. So they were anticipating what we are still looking forward to be doing on a regular basis. On January 22nd, 54, the AAS was officially chartered by 37 individuals intent on championing serious proposals for spaceflight. The preamble of the Constitution of the new organization, which is still in play today, was to, quote, publicly disseminate and support as many of the credible proposals for the conquest of space as possible. Today, we sustain that purpose through our conferences, our publications, and our events. And we recognize, as many of you do, that the space enterprise is continuing to evolve from a legacy of purpose-built functional space systems to an expanding space ecosystem. Right? So we're seeing more and more companies and organizations enter the space enterprise and build capabilities for being deployed in space that are intended to work with each other in an ecosystem type configuration where they're each dependent on each other, but each able to do different things in different configurations on the way forward. So one of the ways that AAS maintains the focus on the future is through what we call the slate of 8. So we have 8 specific areas that the board has identified as looking significantly different through the windshield than they do through the rearview mirror. And so we tend to focus on these areas. And we certainly note the value of the key areas that are of high import in the agenda here this week, including nuclear and microgravity research stations. Okay, so we gather over the next few days to discuss a variety of topics, including these. And we want to, as we do so, we want to celebrate the remarkable work here at Glenn. Jimmy, thank you so much for the outstanding work that the members of your team provide across the center. An amazing and unique collection of test beds and proving grounds, including wind tunnels, drop towers, vacuum chambers, and many other facilities that have allowed the design, development, and testing of innovative technologies in both aviation and space exploration. Glenn and its people have given the U.S. a leading edge across the space enterprise. We'll talk about how we can accomplish the many lofty goals that we've set and identify and formulate new ones. Our panelists and speakers will discuss opportunities and challenges facing the industry and how we all together can address those, bringing our respective expertise and innovation to bear to realize the fruition and eventual success of these evolving space capabilities. The symposium is not just about technological achievements, it's also about fostering connections, bringing together students, industry leaders, policymakers to share insights and share the future in developing space technologies. So our future is very much a function of what each of you do and what the connections that you among yourselves make here at the conference. As we pave the way for groundbreaking innovations and inspire the next generation of engineers and technicians. some of which are here in the audience today. So please do get to meet as many people and make as many connections as you can. Take full advantage of the entire program across the 3 days. We'll have numerous opportunities for networking because we do appreciate how important that is amongst all of the participants and amongst the panelists and speakers as well. So whether you're here to learn about recent milestones, share innovation and innovative research, or explore new collaborations, your participation is paramount. It is invaluable to advancing our shared mission of science and exploration. On behalf of the American Astronautical Society, I want to commend everyone at Glenn and everyone here today for the continued partnership and dedication to advancing these capabilities. And again, thank you for all being here. Thank you, Case Western, for your incredibly gracious hosting of the event. And all of the great programs that you and your university have, and all the great things that Art was talking about that you're looking to do into the future. And to tell us a bit more about Case Western, please welcome J. Michael Oakes, Senior Vice President for Research, Office of Research and Technology Management. Michael.
Ron, thanks so much, and first congratulations to Jimmy and Glenn and all the people. We're really excited at CASE to host this event. I have a few just welcoming words. First, this is as bad as the weather ever gets in Cleveland, so come back anytime. I do hope if you're not in the area, you get out and see some of the broader city. There's some wonderful things to do. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is often talked about, but plenty of other things, and really a remarkable restaurant ecosystem. I wanted to mention how really terrific these events are for a research university like CASE. Obviously, we educate students. I like to say we manufacturing appreciating assets that maybe give donations someday. But we also, of course, do discovery and engineering. And my job as a senior VP of research is to help spur the discoveries, get them going often, but not always, from federal research grants, and then get them out of our labs, whether it's a bio lab, whether it's an engineering lab, et cetera. And our partnership with groups like Glenn and many of you around here is really where the action is. Universities, for a long time, particularly people in my position, will talk about interdisciplinary research, and that matters. But I can tell you, as someone who's pushed this for too many years, the comical stories, you get the English professor to sit with the chemistry professor, and they have wonderful conversations, but not a lot gets done. And the reason is because they're not focused on a problem. So what we're trying to do here is say, here's a problem. Maybe it's something in, obviously, space technology. And anyone who can contribute to the understanding, the information, the solution to the problem is welcome. That very well may be a humanities professor, of course, an engineer or chemist, whatever else. So that focus is really where the action is. But it gets more important. When we talk about interdisciplinary research, it's clearly not sufficient. I'll say that the real action is what we're doing here today, which is multi-sector research and discovery. The partnership of a university like CASE, obviously with the government sector, with quasi-government agencies, and of course the commercial or industrial sector, including startups, is really where the action is. And it's something we're trying to do here at Case Western Reserve. If you don't know, if you're new to the area here, Case Western Reserve is a Research One university. We're in the AAU, American Association of Universities. It's about the 72 largest research universities in America. We have about 12,000 total students. Half are undergraduates and half are graduate students. We got particularly notable strengths in medicine, Tier 1 medical school with our terrific hospital partners, University Hospital, Metro, and of course the Cleveland Clinic. We also have a really strong engineering program that, in my opinion, is really where the action is going to be in the next 10 or 15 years. I hope to double the impact of our engineering school whether it's in material science, electrochemical engineering, and beyond. If you might have noticed, across the other way, we have a brand new building going up. You might have seen the building if you came down the MLK Hill. That's a $300 million state-of-the-art, we call it Interdisciplinary Science and Engineering Building, ISEB. And the purpose of that building is to bring scholars, inventors, and engineers together in a space. And we literally designed it with architects to create collisions so that faculty of different stripes and certainly grad students of different stripes and background bump into one another. And I put a terrific coffee shop in below because I want to drug the faculty as much as I can with the best coffee. And what we want is to have people connect. It's really what we are doing here. To connect, to have conversations by the water cooler or the coffee shop, or the graduate students who work for different professors in different labs, just chit-chat in a similar space that maybe is comfy and they can do hard work. That's where the ideas innovation happen. And then, of course, the real apparatus, the goal is to get those things out, get them out to industry and so forth. But the other part of that equation is to get industry in. And I can tell you that as a university leader, part of the new vision is to have industrial scientists and engineers spend more time with us. We often talk about sabbaticals. They seem to be too lengthy. But maybe it's a week. Maybe it's 3 days. Maybe it's twice a month for 6 months. So that our faculty especially, and particularly our younger faculty, can realize and actually see what's happening in industry and where the problems that your scientists and engineers, what they're facing, so that we might be able to contribute, that we might be able to go back and maybe discover something new, a new solution. It's that kind of partnership that is the future of research universities like Case and all the other big ones. And that's really what we're trying to do here. So I'll close up by just saying I'm really excited about this. These are the kinds of things we love doing at Case. I hope you all had good parking. I hope you can get out and have some good food or whatever else you want to do. I do want to say special thanks to the sponsors of this event. We're happy to be a small partner in that. I want to say thanks to the folks who coordinated this, Ron and his team, amazing. And of course, the thanks to the workers who will help set this up and clean up after this. It's not always easy. Looking ahead, we're going to do more of this stuff. As I mentioned, we're trying to have much more fluid walls at the university. We want to collaborate more. We want to innovate more. We're doing about 8 to 10 startups per year. We have an incubator building. And it's really trying to get stuff out of the labs, as I said. So it's this partnership that you are all doing, Astronomical Society and all those things. And of course, the terrific work from NASA Glenn. We are really vital partners in our mind, but insufficient with NASA Glenn. I've got to work with Dr. Kenyon for a long time now, and I think we're really trying to do more. I'd like to do a lot more. NASA Glenn is clearly, I think you all know, an amazing asset to the country, certainly the state of Ohio, and clearly Northeast Ohio. The things they do there, from discovery to innovation, new products, technology transfer, is cutting edge. And I think clearly important not only to the space industry and NASA, but I'm going to tell you the broader economy of the state. I have the privilege sometimes of hanging out with elected officials, and it's just agreement. But as you know, that's not enough. We have to start having more action, more resource allocation, and really helping Dr. Kenyon and his friends do the great work they do. So with that, I'll say thanks for coming. We look forward to hosting you. Anything you need, reach out to someone from Case. We're going to do our best to make sure you get everything you need. Hope you have a lovely stay. No Browns jokes, please. Still a little soon. And now it's my privilege to introduce my friend and colleague, Dr. Jimmy Kenyon, as you know, director of NASA Glenn. Jimmy and I would often see each other leaving the last flight home from DC on Friday nights, both looking a little bedraggled. I think it's even more intense today. So I'm so grateful for his leadership, his partnership, and I look forward to doing a lot more with him and you. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful time.
Good afternoon. I want to start just with a thank you to the American Astronautical Society for hosting this event, for organizing this event, Space technology is critical to our leadership, our U.S. leadership in space exploration and space science. And having a symposium focused on space technology is, I think, fundamentally important to make sure that we can continue to drive that leadership. I also want to say thank you to Michael and to Case Western Reserve University for hosting us this year and every year, and what a great forum and what a great venue to have this conversation. So at NASA, we explore the unknown in air and space. We innovate for the benefit of humanity, and we inspire the world through discovery. We do that through missions and human exploration, whether it's in low Earth orbit or now going on to the moon and then on to Mars beyond. We do that through science to look farther into our universe than we've ever seen, to explore other planets and other worlds, and to learn more about our own planet and our own world. And then we do that through missions and research and technology to advance the technologies that will make all of that possible. That's what we do at NASA. The work, though, is done at our centers. Over 95% of our workforce resides at one of 10 field centers around the country. And with only 10 field centers, it's wonderful to have one of them right here in Cleveland, Ohio. I love being here in Cleveland. The weather is beautiful every day. But we enjoy being here because we enjoy the support and we enjoy the workers and we enjoy the people and the innovation that this area brings. So what this allows us to do at these centers, or what we do at NASA Glenn, is we focus on a few key areas. We focus on propulsion, aircraft propulsion, in-space propulsion for our spacecraft. We focus on power for any application. We focus on communications. That's important because nothing flies without those three things. But of course, those three things don't work without advanced materials, and so we have a deep competency in materials. And all of those need the right boundary conditions, so we've developed a competency in the simulation and test of the extreme environments of flight, whether that's flight in our atmosphere or flight beyond. So we have some of the world's largest and most powerful and most capable test capabilities to make sure that we can test and simulate those environments and that the technology and the systems that they go into work before we send our astronauts outside of our atmosphere. That's the work that we do at NASA Glenn, and it's critical because, again, nothing flies without it, and so we support and work with all of our missions and all of our mission directorates. So we had some leadership changes, as often happens with an administration change. I'm not using the slides, so we have some leadership changes, a new acting administrator, a new associate administrator, and we had a town hall, and they asked, I think, a really important question that all of us can ask ourselves. What are you doing to get our astronauts back to the moon and onto Mars? And I would broaden that. What are you doing to keep the United States, to keep America first and in the lead in terms of space exploration, whether it's scientific exploration or human exploration? What are you doing to keep us first? So accelerating aerospace innovation is key because there is today a huge sense of urgency, a bigger sense of urgency than I have seen or felt since I joined the agency. And so what are we doing today? I can tell you a few things we're doing at NASA Glenn. One is we're using those deep core competencies as a research center, but also as a human exploration center to make sure that we are developing, conceiving of new technologies, maturing those new technologies, and then advancing them to support and drive human spaceflight and science, and making sure that that handoff is seamless so that that technology works and gets there as quickly and as efficiently as possible. That's one thing we're doing. Another thing we're doing is we're partnering. When you look around us here in the upper Midwest, we have so many aerospace companies right here in Ohio, but then if you look just beyond into Michigan and Indiana and Pennsylvania and our neighboring states, there are so many more aerospace companies. The supply chain is here. Propulsion companies component suppliers, you name it, which are wonderful, wonderful places to infuse technology and get them into those systems. And that's another thing we are doing, is we are working through our technology transfer program to get those technologies into the hands of those businesses so that they can develop those technologies and produce product that gets to our systems or to others. Some great examples are our GRX 810 high temperature metal alloy that we've talked about here on this stage multiple times. Another is our small scale electric propulsion, which allows microsats to have the electric propulsion they need without having to have companies go off and invent their own, which is a high cost and a high risk thing for those companies. So it's helping those companies to accelerate getting their product fielded and getting their return on investment in building that space economy. But we're also looking at new ways to use our campus through things like enhanced use lease, where we can bring more partners closer to us to drive innovation, to accelerate innovation, with better use of the capacity we have in our facilities and just a more agile innovation ecosystem around us. So we're looking at those authorities and how we can leverage that. And then we're also looking to accelerate the next generation workforce with a vibrant intern program. Over 150 interns this summer at NASA Glenn. And just we continue to work with them and give them game-changing experiences so that some of us will be ready when they come back to work with us, and others will be ready when they go to work with you. So that's what we are doing today at NASA Glenn to accelerate aerospace innovation. And so, again, I want to thank the American Astronautical Society for bringing us here together, Case for hosting us. And I'll ask you this question. What are you doing to keep the United States, to keep America in the lead in space exploration? And I'm really excited to hear that answer as we go through the next few days. So thanks so much, Jim, and I'll turn this back to you.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Kenyon. Appreciate it. What are we doing to advance is things like this, just bringing you all together to discuss the opportunities, the challenges, the next steps in all of this. So I get to do the formalities. So in case we haven't met, I'm Jim Way. I'm Executive Director of AAS. Thank you all very, very much for being here. And I'd like to say a big thank you to all of our sponsors, our gold sponsor, Raytheon, our silver sponsor, L3 Harris, our bronze sponsors, Rolls-Royce and Voyager. We have a reception sponsor for tonight's reception in Blue Origin, a break sponsor in Leidos, our lanyards, as everybody knows, as BWX, and a strong supporter of our events, as always, is the Aerospace Corporation. So thank you to very much to all of you for all of your support of the event. Again, thanks to Case Western for hosting us. Gracious hosts as ever. And a big thanks to all of our collaborators on this, obviously NASA Glenn. And for the first time, we're trying something out and making this Ohio Space Week. So our event runs today through Wednesday. Thursday is the Ohio Space Forum, so hopefully some of you will be sticking around and going to that. Really good agenda on that one. Wednesday night is NASA's Evening with the Stars, and then Thursday or Friday and Saturday is the opening of a new, I think it's a new exhibit at the Great Lakes Science Center, the NASA Glenn Visitor Center there. So really cool week. And I think we have an astronaut throwing out the first pitch at the Guardians game on Thursday night too. So very cool stuff. And so hopefully we make this a thing that lasts for many years to come. Planning committee. So thanks very much to everybody on the planning committee. We do this, AAS is a very small staff. There's 4 of us. So events like this come together only through the help of all of these people. They're from all our various corporate supporters and our partners. And they come in once a week for many, many months and put this whole thing together. So thank you very much to all of them, especially Marty Schaefer from NASA and Steve Witkowski from Moog.